What's up, everybody? We are back. This is ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news each and every day. You can join us over at InsideTheGame.ca, our YouTube channel, Inside the Game Official. Make sure you sub while you're there. Help us out. And of course, you can join us all across the television networks, everything from Jinx Esports TV, ESTV. Oh, the list just goes on and on. Amazon Prime, you can find us somewhere, I'm sure. And of course, we also got you covered on the audio side with Fired Up Network, all 212 of their platforms. You literally cannot miss us at this point. Right, Scott?
That's right. We are everywhere. Always bigger, always better.
That's for sure. Yo, dude, starting off hot this year. Already, day one, we're back. We're feeling it. Christmas holidays are behind us. Hope everybody had a great holiday. But let's talk about it. Scott, what's on today's show?
Today we have Square Enix's aggressive use of AI, and that's a little worrying to some. Konami is remaking Metal Gear Solid, the original, and I'm super happy for that. And unfortunately, Versus Evil has announced that they're shutting down.
Not cool, not cool. That sucks, man. As it continues and bleeds into 2024, more shutdowns are on the way. Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about our holidays first. Scott, we're back. Dude, Season 4, ITG Daily. I can't believe it. You can't believe it. We're here to talk about a lot more games, but we just had the holidays. Everybody just had holidays. I hope you had a great holiday. We had a good holiday, dude. I feel more exhausted over the holidays than I did when I was working. It was just go, 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 and there's a lot of family, a lot of friends, and a lot of fun. And of course, there's a lot of games. You can't put down the games. We don't do that here. What about you? How was your holidays? What were you playing over the holidays?
Oh, it was excellent. I had a nice, good visit,
Nice.
and I got all the Christmas stuff done, and I'm looking forward to the brand new year. But funny enough, I spent a lot of the holidays looking back through time. I went through Grand Theft Auto 3 and Vice City. Just wrapped that one up yesterday, and I'm not done yet. Number 4 is up next.
There you go.
It's going to be a long road to number 6, but we'll get there.
Number 6, 2025. Do you think we see it in 2025?
We must, please. I hope so.
I hope so too. I definitely hope
I think
so.
it might just be hope, but I'm really thinking 2025.
I'm still bouncing into the world of GTA 5. I'm on there in the online side of it. I won the car yesterday. Unfortunately, my garage was full, so I lost the car yesterday.
Oh
Man, I gotta go buy another car or another garage, and then we'll be able to kind of keep loading that up. But at this point, I'm like, do I just call it quits? But GTA Online is just so good. It is so much fun. And we got some big plans coming for this year. GTA 5 might be just in those plans as we ramp up for GTA 6. I also jumped back into the world of Avatar. Dude, I am 96% done that game. This close. This close. I just gotta level up a little bit more, and then I'm off to beat the final boss, and I will be out of that game. I still stand by my score at 7.5. Straight up.
Yeah.
That game is just okay.
I'm wondering if we'll get any DLC for that in the future, or if it's just really a one and done, or next movie comes out, new game. I'm wondering.
That's a good question. I don't know. That was really my main focus. Oh, you know what else I played? Dude, I played an absolute ton of Predecessor beta on PS5, and I had a blast. I got steamrolled a couple times, hands down, but then the other time, I was a steamroller, and it was so good. Last night, we pulled out one of the coolest wins we have had. I went mid lane, not my greatest, right? I normally play jungle, that's my focus. I'm a heavy jungler, that's what I do. But I'm like, I'll play mid lane. Jungle's already picked, I'll go over mid. I got my Iggy and Scorch, I'm out there, I'm flaming stuff up. I only got a couple kills, but I'm holding my own, but I died a lot, I really did. I got melted throughout, so I'm like, okay, now I gotta build up armor on magical side, and then the physical side. So now I'm like, okay, I'm a little bit tankier, I'm able to kind of hold my own a little bit more. And at one point, when we get like near the beginning of the game, we might be 15 minutes in and going, this isn't good. Dude, 45 minutes go by. And we pull out the W. It was so cool. It was so good to have that comeback. We're getting the Orb Prime, and then we're getting Fangtooth. And these are the other objectives that are on the map that are rather important for your team to kind of overhaul and overthrow the other team in front of you, right? And it was just, we're catching these objectives and then pushing forward. Dude, our kill count was insane. It was 60 kills. I've never seen a game so high. 60 kills to 28. We lit them up. But somehow, It was a 45-minute game. I was like, this is one of the longest games I've ever played, but I've had an absolute blast. I love Predecessor. I think it's in a great spot. It is so nice to have it back on PlayStation. I wish they would bring it to Xbox. And then
that's too bad.
Yeah. So I was talking to Robbie over there, the CEO of Meta Studios, and it's coming, but not until GTA 6 gets here. Scott, that's enough talk about the holidays, dude. Let's get into topic number 1. Square Enix president says it will be aggressive in applying AI. Yeah, let's see how this goes. Andy Robertson over at VGC. Kiru, who was appointed as the Final Fantasy firm's new boss in June 2023, made the comments in its traditional New Year's letter from the president. In the letter, the exec explains the new initiatives he has put in place since his appointment, including vetting games in development and accelerating a plan to provide more resources to its internal teams. Kiru also said Square Enix was expanding knowledge sharing with the goal of standardizing its processes and enhancing our efficiency, as well as encouraging closer collaboration between its content and publishing teams. So far, so good, Scott. Perhaps the most eye-catching section of the letter, however, mentions the president's ambitions in the area of artificial intelligence. Quote, "We also intend to be aggressive in applying AI and other cutting-edge technologies to both our content development and our publishing functions," end quote. The exec wrote, quote, "In the short term, our goal will be to enhance our development productivity and achieve greater sophistication in our marketing efforts. In the long term, we hope to leverage those technologies to create new forms of content for consumers, as we believe the technological innovation represents business opportunities," end quote. Earlier in the letter, Kiru spoke about the impact of generative AI such as ChatGPT, which he noted had quickly expanded to cover images, video, and music. Quote, "I believe that generative AI has the potential not only to reshape what we create, but also to fundamentally change the process by which we create, including programming," end quote. He said, programming is an interesting take, Scott. There's a lot to kind of unpack here, right? We could get into the whole side of the blockchain technology that they're looking to focus on, selling off studios last year, left, right, and center, send them over to Embracer Group to die. But AI definitely is here. I don't think it's going anywhere. We know that Ubisoft has actually created AI to create dialogue for their NPC characters that wander around these massive worlds, freeing up the creatives, right, development studio, to then focus on other things.
Well, I think that's what the biggest change here that we're seeing, the idea that this will change some of the programming. And I think that's what that indicates right there, is that BART, the NPC dialogue kind of systems, where now there's a whole program now that's going to decide based on where I am, where these NPCs are, what are they going to say, and it's supposed to keep it new and fresh all the time. And I think that's interesting, because that's one of the positive avenues I could see this AI being used for. Everybody's worried about AI because it's a brand new technology, or seemingly, and we have worry that that's going to result in a watered down product. Some of the issues we've seen with AI and different algorithms in social media doesn't really work out and produce a positive environment. So there is some worry that that will come to video games. But what I'm seeing here from this statement is something that's very sensical to me. This is a business. If they can eliminate some of that overhead, some of the time, the money spent with people to kind of develop some of these things, that'll streamline their process. And that's why they're looking at it for sure. But I'm wondering if this will get out of hand. How quickly until there's less people in the building? We're talking about Embracer, the shutdowns, how many people are necessary. There's going to be a thinning. There already is a thinning of that crowd of the industry. So it is concerning still, because we just haven't seen how it's going to work out yet. But I am still positive, however, because like any sort of new change, new technology, new development in any industry, there's a fear, there's a worry. We find a way of incorporating it and then move forward. And hopefully this can free up some of that creativity.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the highlight of it, right? From the artistic side of it, there's that too to worry about. All of a sudden, now you're getting generative AI artwork, which we see populated all over the place now, which then eliminates the artist, right? You type in a couple words, boom, there's your image. I'm like, hey, are we going to be doing that now moving forward with animation, with character design? How far does this go, right? All of a sudden now, we've seen a one-person team create incredible games, but that's all done by one person, not a computer. That's where I'm starting to worry is, will we just get uninnovative designs? Will we get non-personal touches in our industry, right? There's a side to fear when it comes to this, but then there's, like you say, man, the bark, right? The non-player character constantly talking, the repetitiveness, dude. Avatar, the AIs in that game, the NPCs, same line over and over and over and over again. I'm like, I heard this sentence 3 minutes ago, 2 minutes ago.
That Ghostbusters game really would have benefited from AI generated NPC speak.
Right? So instead of putting people on this, you let the AI generate some of this dialogue for you, so it's not so constantly repetitive 1 minute into the next minute, and maybe that helps kind of feel like a more fleshed out, more believable game. But how far do they take that technology and start eliminating some of our beloved developers, which we already saw last year take a massive hit on? And that is something to be a little bit concerned about moving forward. So there's two sides of it, Scott. AI can be helpful, but it can also be hurtful. 6 minutes, buddy. Puts us up in around the 10-minute mark. And we're still recording. I think it was the flip. I think when I flipped it, because I'm not in studio mode, I flipped us into, so.
The hotkeys, just,
So, yeah. So 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes, another 6 minutes. Dude, we're at 12 minutes already. There's half our show. But which is fine. Konami, let's go, dude. Konami, let's do it. Let's do it.
I think I gotta hit a bathroom after Konami.
Okay, are you ready then?
Oh,
here we go.
Yeah.
All right. Scott, dude, this one is right up our alley. We've been looking forward to something like this announcement. We've already seen it once with Metal Gear Solid Delta. Now, Konami reporting on remaking the original Metal Gear Solid. I called this was going to happen. I said, this is what we're going to do. We can't get a brand new Metal Gear because Kojima is off and no longer with Konami. So it doesn't make sense to then try to rebuild it. We've seen the rise and fall of that. It didn't go very well. What do? Dude, they literally start from ground zero, go to Delta, and then go into 1 and start remaking the whole library. Here we go. Abby Allen over at Tech for Gamers has this to say. With 60 million units sold and a legacy dating back 25 years, the Metal Gear Solid IP remains lucrative for Konami to this day. The publisher has recently made up its mind to revisit many of the series' older games released in the Master Collection this year, which I don't think was really necessary, in addition to announcing a remake of Metal Gear Solid 3, which is very necessary, Scott.
Well, I've been playing that Master Collection, actually, for Metal Gear Solid 1, particularly.
And?
Oh, it's been great. It's been beautiful. Not quite beautiful as some would remember it back on the PlayStation, or quite as beautiful as today's games, but it's somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, absolutely. However, it seems another remake from the IP is already being planned. Why it matters? Well, since remakes and remasters are a safe approach to the industry, many studios are milking the quality and nostalgia for their classic IPs. The information comes from Area Jargonis. The source previously reported accurate information about God of War Ragnarok DLC and now claims to know about the Japanese publisher's plans. According to the report, Konami's next remake is based on the first Metal Gear Solid title. Yes, let's go, buddy. It elaborates. Go ahead.
This is actually, they've done Twin Snakes was the first kind of retouch of that game. So this is now the third remaster of it.
Yeah, I guess so, right? I never played Twin Snakes because that was on what, GameCube?
That was GameCube. That was my
that system. Come on.
That was my second experience with Metal Gear, and I loved it. It's the reason I love that game to this day.
Oh, man. I played the original on PlayStation. It was so good. It elaborates that this project has already been in the works for many years, but Konami is currently focused on Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. This focus was recently highlighted in breathtaking Unreal Engine 5 footage. Once the dude, it was gorgeous. Like straight up, I was like, wow, I cannot wait. Once the publisher releases the remake, more attention will be given to the original Metal Gear Solid remake. Since Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater is expected to arrive next year, an official announcement for the next remake could be made as early as 2024, even if it does not arrive for a few more years. The sources also claims that the Metal Gear Solid remake will not be released on last generation consoles to allow the developers more room to work on the modern hardware of the PS5. Despite the information, the leak does not go into detail about the potential launch window. Konami has already stated it is open to more remakes in the future. However, the publisher will decide which game to remake based on the demand of the fandom. Scott, I think this is a smart move, right?
After this one, surely there's number 2.
Got it.
You, of course, although I haven't played 4 again, you bring that to another modern audience, and I would love to jump onto that. But I'm thinking, the quote here is room to work on the modern hardware of the PlayStation 5. Does that mean Xbox side is not going to see it? Nintendo's been out of the running for a few years now. I wouldn't even consider that, but
no, yeah, for sure. No, I think we will be getting also on the Xbox, right? So Snake Eater is coming to Xbox. It was actually, the gameplay footage was shown on Xbox at the Xbox showcase. So I think there's a partnership there with Xbox, Konami, PlayStation, right? They're all working together. It was just the way it was phrased here within the article. So I think you're going to get it on both platforms, which is a great thing for Konami and a great thing for fans of Metal Gear Solid, because nostalgia's hitting hard here, man, and I'm definitely down for some of these remakes, because like they said, 25 years, dude. Shadow Moses to be completely redone from the ground up. Ooh, like I'm so in for a lot of this now, right? I want to go back, I want to relive some of these feats that back in the day set me on my path of where I am today. But at the same time, dude, I don't want to go back all the way to PS1 to play. You know what I mean? I don't want to play these remasters. I want a true remake from the ground up, make it more modern, make it feel where we are today, today's gaming standards, and see what other audience that they can grow as well. And like they said, dude, people love nostalgia, and this is going to soak up a bucket loads of cash for Konami to keep going. I think we start with Delta next do we wait 2 years to get the I'm gonna call it Metal Gear Solid 1, really, the remake of that, and then another 2 years for the remake of 2, another 2 years, which puts us into like PS6, whatever the next one is for Xbox, Xbox Series Y.
2.
I don't know what they're gonna call it. Who knows, right? Unpredictable, that's for sure. But then are we gonna get 4? And then by the time that comes out, right, we're later in the next generation of consoles, we're getting a remake of 5. Like, Konami could milk this all the way through, technically, right?
It really could, yeah. I wonder if we'll get the Last of Us treatment, where we'll get a new version of number 5, even though it's not been terribly long.
No, it hasn't.
Although, well, to your point, though, by the time we get to the end of this, it's been a decade now.
Absolutely. By the time you keep pumping all these remakes out and you keep going, right? You're drawing in a whole new audience and opening their eyes to Konami. By the time they wrap up in 5, dude, they're building 6. I'm calling it right now.
You think they're going to continue
10 years from now, I bet you somebody then designs Metal Gear Solid 6. Whatever that is. Yeah, I think that's the game plan. Build up the fandom, get a solid foundation and understanding of what Kojima built. Take that legacy, grow it for the new fans, and then bounce it into the next generation. I think that's where they're going to head. I think that's their long-term goal. Whether or not that's going to happen, I'm just kind of like fingers across and I'm predicting, right? But that's what I think they're looking long term to go. We want to continue on this legacy. We want to continue on the Metal Gear Solid fans legacy and keep this going, and then give us a 6. Call it.
I would really love to see more Metal Gear because I love that series, so but it's just not the same without Kojima.
Nope. Well, Scott, as 2023 bleeds into 2024, more shutdowns are on the way.
The worst part of 2023.
Isn't it? And it continues now with 2024 as Versus Evil shuts down. Brendan Sinclair over GamesIndustry.biz. Quote, "Today is a sad day," end quote, the company said. Quote, "After 10 wonderful years, Versus Evil is shutting its doors. We've loved bringing you the best indie games we could find and sharing so many happy memories with all of you, our amazing community. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you for everything," end quote. God, he's got goosebumps. Sucks. Man, it sucks. In another post today, Versus Evil head of production, Lance James, confirmed that the indie publisher's entire team has been laid off. Versus Evil was founded in 2013 and acquired by Tiny Build and its QA studio, Red Suberus, in 2021. Earlier this month, Tiny Build reported that it would miss revenue forecasts. At the same time, Tiny Build announced that it has settled a legal dispute with the Versus Evil's former owner, Staff Proof LLC, as well as general manager Steve Escalante and head of production James. The trio had alleged the Tiny Build breached a number of its obligations as part of the purchase agreement, specifically around releasing promised funds to the indie publisher and providing material support. Tiny Build paid $3.5 million in legal costs to settle the claims, and Escalante announced that he would be leaving the company shortly after. Versus Evil's first major project was the Banner Saga. Dude, that's kind of legendary, honestly, at this point, right? Like, everybody knows that game's been around quite some time, and the company went on to help publish a variety of titles, including Pillars of Eternity 2, Deadfire, Mother Gunship, Stray Souls, not a very good game, unfortunately, and Unmetal. Scott, it continues.
Yeah, after 10 years of what seemed to be a successful company, it's sad to see it just dissolve like that. This is not an Embracer Group issue. This seems to be a separate and its own individual legal issue, but
yeah,
it's unfortunate to see that happen, and it is sad. Although I didn't like Stray Souls, I did not want to see the whole company just dissolve.
I mean, that's the biggest thing, right? I didn't see this coming. When this news dropped, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Versus Evil has been around a very long time. I didn't expect them to just get gobbled up and just vanish. And I think with the whole legal battle, obviously that did not help things. And there's been some miscommunication by the sounds of things, and just a couple other things that we will probably A, never hear about, and B, probably shouldn't even know. It's just legal things are legal problems, and it's just unfortunate. Yet another tragedy already heading into 2024. Will this ever stop? No, Scott, it just won't, right? At some point, things have to slow down, hopefully. Is really kind of where we want it. 2023 was such a abysmal year of just layoffs and layoffs and layoffs. And now here we go again. Versus Evil completely laid off. The team is no longer. And it just hurts so much to see our industry keep dwindling off and going down. And just at one point, man, it's got to start picking things back up again, right? We're this close. New year, hopefully new things are on the way. Scott, usually there's something out to play. A brand new game, some DLC, an update, or something. Like, there's just nothing when it comes out to an actual release for what seems to be the next 2 weeks. So that's going to be it for us here. Thank you for watching. This has been ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news each and every day. I'm Drew. That's Scott.
And we'll see you inside the game.